If I had told you back in 2018 to pick a Mexico player who was going to be starting 2 World Cup cycles later in the World Cup, you probably would have been able to get Edson Alvarez. You might have guessed Chucky Lozano, and we'll see if he's able to make the 2026 World Cup. And then you may have guessed Guillermo Ochoa, who might be on the roster, Chicharito, who is still an active player, maybe Carlos Vela, maybe Hector Herrera, but I don't think you would have gotten one of the correct answers, and that's Jesus Gallardo. In many ways, that 2018 tournament was the breakout tournament for Gallardo. Remember, Gallardo was a player who came up at Pumas, but came up as an attacker, not a left back like he plays now. In fact, it was in the 2018 World Cup cycle that Mexico manager Juan Carlos Osorio started to play Gallardo as the defensive player and not as an out-and-out winger. While players like Carlos Salcedo and even Rafa Marquez drew more attention for the defensive efforts in the 2018 World Cup, Gallardo did well too. And in fact, his performances in Russia earned him a place on the radar of many top European teams. The only problem was that Gallardo already had committed his future to another Mexican team before leaving for the tournament. Already locked in as Rayados left back of the future, Gallardo wasn't able to take advantage of those offers, and he's made his entire career in Mexico. Still, as a player who might think offense first, who loves to get forward, join the attack, create scoring opportunities, but also has developed into a more than competent defender. And while Gallardo has taken his lumps in the fan base, he's having a bit of a resurgence. He won the Liga MX title with Toluca, and when he's not suspended like he was for the Gold Cup semifinal, he's a regular player for current Mexico manager Javier Aguirre, making it seem like he's going to play at the 2026 World Cup in at least one of Mexico's matches. It's an impressive transition for Gallardo, and at age 30, who knows, he might be able to push on to another World Cup. Although with the emergence of Mateo Chavez and a few other Mexican youngsters, it seems like perhaps he'll be pushed down the depth chart. But this has happened before to Gallardo, and he's still been able to keep his place with the national team. And he lost his place at the club level, but then again went on to win Liga MX, even as Rayados struggled to get into the playoffs. For now, it looks like Toluca manager Antonio Mohamed doesn't have any plans to move on from Gallardo, and neither does Mexico manager Javier Aguirre. After all, for a national team coach, he's in some ways the perfect player. He has the experience of playing top-level international matches. He can do a little bit of everything, making him a great candidate to fill a spot on the roster. And you basically know that he's going to give you something going forward, but also not make mistakes at the back. It's that consistency and versatility that will make Gallardo a starter at the 2026 World Cup, 8 years after he first burst onto the scene in Russia. As with so many Mexican players, it's easy to wonder what might have been if he'd taken those opportunities in Europe, playing for a club like Celtic, who wanted his services in 2018. But he had a good career and a good life in Monterrey, and now looks like he'll see out the rest of his playing years in Toluca, where he's already won a title and is now pushing for more trophies, even on the international level. He might not be the most beloved player by Mexico fans, he'll probably never put on the armband, but looking at the numbers, Gallardo is clearly a figure who's going to go down in Mexican soccer history. Who would have thought it back in 2018? What are your thoughts on Jesus Gallardo, his longevity, and the fact that he's probably going to be Mexico's left back starting in the 2026 World Cup? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you follow for more on Mexican soccer and everything going on in the CONCACAF region.